Valley Club Battleworld, the videos should be coming very, very soon. So what should you and your lines need to prepare right now? Blade is here, more Nightstalkers in the way. This is great news for the raids, but may pose some problems for you in Cosmic, Crucible, and War. How should you deal with this? And the candy store is live right now. It's gonna be around for the next month or so as well. So how do you get the maximum amount of value from it? I'm discussing all of these things and more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update. And if you've heard of all of that and more, then you know to do Valley Club. Find that like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin and this is your Marvel Strike Force weekly news update. I do this every single week when I'm not out of town, keeping you up to date on everything that has happened in Marvel Strike Force and is upcoming in the game. And if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. Minimum of 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on a normal week. News videos like this, question to answer videos, gameplay videos, everything you have for your experience in Marvel Strike Force. And normally with these news videos, I do this with a guest. Unfortunately, happened again, all ready to shoot, and unfortunately my guest had a last minute work call to take, so I'm doing this solo. I do like doing this with guests a little better, but yeah, some things happen sometimes, so hopefully we'll be back to having a guest on next week. Let's get into the game and talk about this candy store. Some really good stuff here. Old Man Logan's awakened abilities are here. Blade's awakened abilities are here. Ares' awakened abilities are here. I did get confirmation from the Valley Club, and I think these are the best things to buy. Now, you do get points for spending this from the web milestones. So you do need to spend this, and I did buy one of these Oath Diamond Orb fragments, mainly just so I could spend a bunch of currency and get a lot of those web points early on. That is what I would recommend that for, but if you look at this orb itself, I don't think it's a great value and great use of your candy. I would rather buy a lot of these old awaken abilities. Each awaken ability, 200,000 candy. You're gonna have to spend 400,000 to finish the web milestone, and it is gonna repeat a few times. And if we look at these web milestones, they're gonna be repeating on a weekly basis. The first one is going on right now. We're gonna have 4 more of this Sugar Rush events. Each one, at least if it's based on this current event, will take 400,000 candy spent in the store for you to complete these web milestones. So 400,000, 400,000, 400,000, 400,000, and another. So that is 2 million of this candy that you need to get all of these points for all of these Sugar Rush milestones. And if you're like myself, you may want to get some of these milestone points so you can get some of the rewards a little earlier than normal for the main milestone event that's in the game right now. That is why I bought this Diamond Orb. Most of the time, I think, like I said, it's going to be better for you to get these awakened abilities. Again, 200,000 of your candy to get one awakened ability. There are 4 for Blade. There are 3 for Old Man Logan if you didn't get any of the previous ones, and I believe there are 4 for Ares as well that I'm not sure if all of them are in the store, but there are 4 for Ares. All right, but yeah, I think most of the time you should be getting this, but this orb does make sense. Like I said, if you're trying to get those milestone points, the other thing it makes sense for if you are trying to get some diamond promotions for these characters. If you don't have a lot of these characters, have a diamond on a lot of these characters, you can get a pretty good roll with this. These diamonds are pretty valuable. Oath does have a 25% drop rate for any of those diamond levels, the 1, 2, or 3 diamond drops. So it is a higher chance to get Oath, but there are 42 characters in here. So yeah, you got a 75% chance to get something else there. So for most players, I don't think this is worth all those candy that you get spend, but there are some players, if you want those milestones or you don't have a lot of dimes, that this Oath Orb will be valuable for. Now, the other thing that you could get in this candy store is actual candy itself. 600,000 gold will get you 10,000 candy. And if you're just purchasing some of this Crimson gear, that may be worth it for you to get some of this Crimson gear rather than just spending gold on that stuff. You do need to look at the calculations, how much gold you're actually spending. And again, 600,000 gold get you 10,000 candy. It may be worth it for some players to get this stuff. As far as the character shards, we do have some farmable characters in here. I do think it's better to farm these characters in their natural farm state. Sasquatch just got added to, I believe it was the arena store. Yeah, there he is. So I don't think it's best to farming here unless you really need these shards, maybe spending 20,000 candy to get the next star level for this character, or just 20,000 candy so you can get a milestone. The rest of this stuff I probably wouldn't buy. If you're a newer player, I'd probably save your orange and teal gear and get just the awakened abilities, maybe even some of these diamond orb fragments if you're a newer player. And all that candy spending will lead into points for that main milestone. There's gonna be 5 of them this month. The first one is Vampiric Frenzy. This has some pretty good rewards. This is the release method for endgame Thanos. So if you don't have him unlocked, hopefully you could push on this event and get a lot of shards for endgame Thanos. Get at least that unlock for endgame Thanos. This is an event that does not have a leaderboard, so I normally don't push on these. And there is one more thing that you can get to score some points. The main thing that you can get is these 50,000 candies. You should get that limit for that. This night energy as well. If you're spending night energy, you can get points for this event. You're getting additional candy at chapter 2 though. So any energy that you spend in this showcase event for the Nightstalkers will get you points. You're getting additional points or your additional candy if you are doing the chapter 2. And this candy, you should get to this limit pretty easily there. Now this Ghoulish orb is the other place that you could score points. If we go to the Ghoulish orb in the game, they are selling that for $15. So it will be worth it for some players. And what you get for that, it may be worth it for you and maybe it may not be worth it for you. You're getting some gold, 6 million gold. You're getting some orange bits for a gold costume for one of the characters. We'll show those characters in a little bit. You're also getting 50,000 candy. If you look at what each of these Ghoulish gold orbs will get you as far as milestone points, it will get you those 20,000 milestone points for each of these. So total, if you bought both of these, $30 and 40,000 milestone points. You could look at where you are on the milestone points to see if it's worth it for you to really push and buy that, see if it's worth it for you to spend some real world money. And as far as the costumes that you can get with this stuff, we have a few new ones in the store right now. The gold Black Knight costume, the gold Kang costume, the gold Dormammu costume, and the gold Apocalypse costume. These were previous rewards for events that you really had to whale out on, and now you can just buy it for $15 if that's something that's important for you in a game. All right, and Blade got released this week. Yeah, the newest member of the Nightstalkers, the first new member of the Nightstalkers to be released in the game. And as far as my personal experience with this character in the raids, not very good in the 3-piece right now. I'm trying to use other 2 characters to experiment with that Mystic section, but from what I've found, that Bifrost with Mephisto combo just works a little better than that 3-piece Nightstalkers with even Val and Mephisto right now. So as of right now, good character, but his use is going to be really realized when the full Nightstalkers team comes into the game. Now, he was available on the test server, but because I was out of town and I had stuff to do, I didn't get on the test server to try out this Nightstalkers team. And but with the footage that I've seen, the 5-piece very, very good in the raid. So once we get the rest of the characters, Man-Thing and Oath finally coming to the game, that's when you should probably see the value of the Nightstalkers shine in the raids and outside of the raids as well. Didn't get to test them in Crucible or in War just because timing didn't work out for me, but yeah, very, very good from what I've seen in Crucible and War, at least when this team is fully built. You may not have that full value from this team because the star level doesn't match up. Like I got lucky on a pull for Blade on one of those orbs and I got a 100 shard pull for him. So if you get a lot of shards for this character, you may see some of that value that you've seen from some of the footage from the test server. If you don't have this character really built up, maybe a little while before you realize that value for this whole team. But yeah, Blade, good character, even better in the Nightstalkers, even better in the raids. And this Nightstalkers full team will be very, very good, but they do need to be released in the game. So yeah, Blade is more of a character in my opinion for down the road. Right now, I'm not seeing a lot of value from him. Let me know your thoughts on Blade. Are you getting a lot of value from the Blade? Maybe you're doing a different level of Orcus. Maybe you have a bigger Blade than I do, and you could just have a lot of value in other game modes. But yeah, as of right now, without his full team, not really seeing the value so much. And Valley Club, last week's event ended a couple days ago. We still don't have the payouts for this, and a lot of times we get the payouts a little later for these leaderboards events. I do believe there's some weird shenanigans, maybe some ties going on. But if we look at the rankings right now, we see that some of them got expanded, which means the payout should be coming very, very soon. Should be coming later today. So as you're watching this, if you watch this video as a release, the payout may not be in the game yet, but if you're watching this a little later, you may already have the payout. Really, really good rewards in my opinion for this, and I thought it was worth pushing for these ions. That is a big bottleneck, at least for myself, to getting into Dark Dimension 8. So anything that I could push for these ions is even better. So I also thought it had some pretty good milestone rewards with this, and the big thing that you could score with this event is getting these orb fragments from the Omega Assault Kiln Tower version. Now, it was a lot easier than previous versions. The last version that we had was pretty much uncompletable unless you had a giant cabal and had a pretty big penny Parker for the Spider Society. This time, looks like it was completable, even with a free-to-play Sentinel and a large Lady Deathstrike and Scientist Supreme. So looks to be a lot easier. Let me know your thoughts on this, though. Would you prefer it a lot more difficult, a lot more challenge to try to figure out these nodes? Or do you like it like this? For myself, I do like it like this because I do want the difficulty for myself, but I realize that I'm an end game player. I've been playing this game for a while. Not everybody has an account like myself. So I do like that more players have access to it, can get all this stuff. And I think it was pretty easy. I think at level 8 or floor 18 is where you need to get for all these Revolution Orb fragments, or at least enough to complete these milestones. So pretty good event in this, and hopefully the payout is coming very, very soon for this. And we have another Alliance event in the game, which is some great rewards if you're in an Alliance are really pushing these Orcus raids and are really pushing either with power cores for these characters or purchasing these characters. Really, really great rewards. Again, ions that is going to help with Dark Dimension 8, some Crimson gear if you're still not in Dark Dimension 7 and have that Mephisto unlocked. So some really good rewards. And it looks like we have a new one coming up. So Dark Future was all about the Orcus team. Night Raid looks to be about the Nightstalkers, so pretty similar event. It's gonna be based on getting Blade, Man Thing, and Oath, so hopefully we have that running for a while. And I think I like these Alliance events that are repeating, these web events that are repeating. Makes it easy to plan, so all I know is I need to spend enough candy, save some candy for this. Once I reach a web milestones, I'm probably gonna hold off and spending a lot of candy for this, but I like that we can plan. And then with these Alliance milestones, very, very good rewards. If you're pushing the highest level of raids, I like that they're rewarding you for that. And yeah, so let me know your thoughts on this. I like that they are repeating the kind of the same Alliance event, the same web event pretty much every week for this month-long milestone. Hopefully they do it in the future, but let me know your thoughts on this. Do you like this, or do you not like that they are kind of repeating the same event over and over? All right, and we have another month-long milestone event, this one called Midnight Hunt, and it is going to be based on all these Nightstalkers events that's happening. And I guess this is kind of the phase 2 release for Omega Sentinel. Still don't have this character unlocked, and I don't think I'll have this character unlocked at the end of the month. We do have some other character shards here that are still in the meta, and we have a new frame that you can earn as well. Teal gear, I'm wondering when they're going to switch to Crimson gear. I think enough people have Mephisto that they can start to make this switch. Let me know when you think they're going to make this switch from Teal to Crimson gear. And I do like when they have character shards here, even if it's characters that I have maxed out. Like Guardian, he just was available in the Spotlight Raid Orb. Panopole was maxed out. I do like character shards here because I realize that even if I have these characters maxed out, not everybody does. So getting more character shards in everybody's hands, I think is a good thing, but I like this better. Let me know your thoughts on this. Sometimes they do stores, sometimes there's no characters in here. I personally like the ones that they have characters in these month-long events. Like I said, even if I have the characters unlocked, I like when there's characters here. And updates on Dark Dimension 8. Currently, there's about 1,300 Odins in the game right now. And this past weekend, I beat the city villain section. So now it's just 2 more sections that I need to unlock. The global heroes don't have any of the characters unlocked there, and the global villains have Apocalypse unlocked there, and they have the rest of these legendary cosmic characters all done. This is where my progress is right now in the characters that I'm looking for. So we brought the full Spider Society into Dark Dimension 8. If you don't already have the Spider Society built, Blade does have some calls to Dark Dimension 8 that will help him there. You may want to bring the full Spider Society because it's pretty easy just to auto through with the Spider Society, or bring Blade and some other interesting characters you might want to bring up. City villains, not a lot of great choices right now. We do have some Hive Mind characters. We do have some Sinister Six characters. I went with the Sinister 6 characters and they made it through pretty easily. Now, right now I'm working on Black Knight. I do want to build up Hank Pym, Black Panther, Shuri, Nightcrawler. I wasn't sure who to do with this 5th, so I ended up bringing Gambit. There's a lot of great choices there. I went with Gambit, though, started to put some purple gear on him as well. And then last but not least, I'm gonna go with Orcus characters. So not Namor, we're gonna build up Nimrod here. So let me make that switch right now. And this is who I'm thinking of bringing into the global section there. So that is my characters. If you've already beaten Dark Dimension 8, let me know what some of your picks were, what worked well, what didn't. And if you haven't finished Dark Dimension 8 yet, let me know where you are right now, what characters you are thinking of bringing in. But probably the most important thing, will you get Odin? Will you get the maximum amount of nodes that you can in these 12 days? As I'm recording the milestones, the 2 Valhalla milestones that reward your Dark Dimension 8 progress. 12 more days for this. You could get some Crimson stuff. You could get some Sentinel Evolution Orb fragments. And of course, that 7 red stars for Odin is on the line. If you don't get it right now, you may have to spend some dark promo credits on this stuff. So I'm gonna be pushing. Let me know what you are gonna do, and hopefully you get a lot of progress in Dark Dimension 8 with this. And Captain Britain had his release in July. It is now October. Many months have passed. Many players that have Captain Britain and got to experience the benefit in Cosmic Crucible and War with this character. And personally, I think it is time to release the shard for Captain Britain for free-to-play players. It's been a while, and I think players that did get Captain Britain through that convoluted release method did get enough in time to enjoy that character in Cosmic Crucible and in War. But if we look at this epic tag here, the other epic characters that we have in the game, Zombie Iron Man, he did get a release method and a release event, so you did get to unlock this character. However, no shards for this character for about a year. Zombie Juggernaut did not take as long. We did get a release event for him, but he did become farmable about 3 to 6 months later, if I'm remembering that correctly. Captain Britain, it has been a while. I think it's about time for him, but let me know when you think this character is finally going to become farmable. Hopefully it's very, very soon. And Cosmic Crucible is getting more and more challenging in my opinion. Had some tough matches this week. One of the tougher rooms that I faced was this Annihilators with Mephisto in room 2. To beat this, I had to do a double sack. Then we went in a strong team. Apocalypse, Tangled Web, Nova, and Red Hulk. Finally able to smash these characters. Another challenging team I saw was in room 6, Super Skrull and a 4-piece Orcus team. That turned me to Super Skrull gains. It just makes this very, very challenging, especially with those weird rolls in room 6. We used a Super Skrull hive mind of our own, and we got wiped out when their Super Skrull did their ultimate. The battle was going pretty good before that, though, so we went in with a cleanup. Used our Annihilators, Captain Britain, pretty much smashed these characters, but had to do a double tap for this. We also saw an Annihilator, Super Skrull, Val in room 3. We used the Mercs for money with Dr. Doom for this one. We actually did nothing with our Dr. Doom. He died very early on, did not push anybody, did not do his special. So it was pretty much Old Man Logan, Pandapool, and Deadpool that smashed this team. I love it when Pandapool just keeps coming back to life. Deadpool keeps coming back to life. And hopefully you got that revived one sticking on Old Man Logan to keep him around. But this was a surprising match, a surprising one-shot for this team. I haven't seen many full Orcuses, but we did see a full Orcus in room 4, and we used a new Warriors with Super Skrull to beat that one pretty easily. We did lose Cloak, though. And the day previous, we saw partial Orcus team. Mysterio was in the spot of Omega Sentinel. We tried to do a combo with New Words and Lizard, didn't work very well. We went in with this full Superior 6 minus Slayer with Vulture, and it works very, very well. So use the correct combos if you're facing Orcus. They smash very hard if you are using them. If not, Orcus kills you. Scientist Supreme is the big threat there. In addition to more and more Orcus teams popping in with Crucible, Odin's also popping up more and more in Cosmic Crucible. Luckily, didn't face one on defense. I did see my opponents use a few on offense to fight me, though. And what I've seen as far as what counters Odin on offense when he's on defense, you got to make sure that he does not get his battlefield effects off. You need to make sure he's controlled. Superior 6 usually does pretty well from what I've seen, both in Cosmic Crucible and in War. So that's kind of the key. Make sure he doesn't get his battlefield effects off, block him, kill him, make sure he's dead, and then go after the other characters. If he does get his battlefield effects off, it's going to be a rough day for you. And whenever Scopely screws up or does something not in the community's best interest, I mention it. And when they do something nice, I mention it as well. So they say our thoughts are with those affected by Hurricane Helene's devastation. We know life takes priority during times like this. We've attached a 7-day login streak token for everyone to use as needed. Everyone in these communities and the real life heroes helping these times, please stay safe. So I think it's a great thing that they did with this. But let's move forward with some data mines, some new data mines courtesy of Brother Quick Draw. And the first data mine appears to be about next week's event, Twilight Vigil. If we look in the blog post here, Twilight Vigil should start on October 7th. And what you would need for this, earn Twilight Orb Fragments on campaign nodes. So start to save campaign energy right now if you really want to max this. It does look like there's a leaderboard attached to this. So this is ones that I normally am pushing for. You also get points for battling in raids with Hive Mind, Extreme X-Men, Spider Society, Alpha Flight characters, and geared to 18 or 19. Completing this Sugar Rush web milestone, that is probably exactly the same as the milestone that's going on right now. Spending 400,000 candies in the candy store should get you all of those. Daily free web claims as well. Rewards are going to be some T3 ISO 8 credits, T3 level 1 Ions, Dark promotion credits, tech gear, and the leaderboard should have some Crimson Gear and Diamond promotions for Blade. And they mentioned a Mutant Rebellion web milestone. It looks like the name was changed, though. That may have been a previous name. It looks like it is now the Sugar Rush event. And they mentioned a Sugar Rush in this section right here, but you're gonna need to do the same thing. Spend candy to earn points for the Twilight Vigil and Midnight Hunt milestone progress. Also, there's this rewards for Classic Strike points. So yeah, maybe just more rewards there. The Night Raid, that looks to be exactly the same as the Dark Future, except instead of Orcus, now you have to gonna use Nightstalker characters. So gather Nightstalkers continue to work in the Orcus raids in this spooky alliance event. So pretty similar. If you and your alliance are pushing on these raids, pushing for these teams, pushing to beat as many nodes as possible, should get some pretty good rewards. I'm assuming they're gonna be exactly the same as the Dark Future event that's going on right now. So good stuff there. Oath looks to be the next character released in Marvel Strike Force. So Oath, then Man Thing, and Battleworld offers have appeared in the game files. And usually when they put offers in the game for a game mode, that game mode is very, very soon. So I'm guessing in the next 2-3 weeks is when we'll see Battleworld, especially if these offers are gonna go live soon, which this data mine does indicate. So probably today, tomorrow, Saturday, we should have some offers for Battleworld, which means that very soon we should be getting Battleworld. Now, more speculation. Quick Draw does mention the icon for darkness in the game files. With Battleworld offers the game, I imagine darkness will be a stacking debuff for Null. Also with Blade having bonus damage to vampires, I imagine somewhere in Battleworld there'll be a non-symbiote vampire section, considering there are 5 vampire minions in the game. So let's look at what he says here. This is from August. A new debuff called Darkness. It appears to expire on death and impacts accuracy. It looks like it reduces accuracy by 10%. So of course, these are data mines. Things can change. Things may stay the same, but these are data mines. Let me know what you think of this darkness if it remains the same in the game. This looks to be the icon for it. And more speculation here. The icon for Null's gear in the game file suggests it will be playable. Maybe not right away like Ultron was in Dark Dimension 1. So I don't know if you remember in year 1, Red Skull was in the game as an enemy. You couldn't use him as a playable character, but you could fight against him and all his Hydra minions. Same thing with Ultron. That was even before Dark Dimension 1. I think he was released in Dark Dimension 2. But yeah, Ultron was a playable character in a few of those campaign missions. We had a few Ultron bots. So I wouldn't be surprised if Null is a PvE character. We do know he's going to be the boss from the things that we said, but I wouldn't be surprised if down the road he does eventually become a playable character, because they've done that before in this game. And that's it for the news. I am so happy to be back in the studio, and hopefully next week we could have a conversation with someone that doesn't have a last minute work conflict. But yeah, I hopefully got some value from this video. Hopefully it entertained you. If you did get some value though, leave the video a like. It is free for you. Tremendously helps out the YouTube algorithm and the ValleyFlyin channel. And if you want to see my detailed analysis, more breakdowns of what are the best ways to spend candy in the candy store, check out the video up there, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.